You're live.
Are there hundreds of people waiting?
Yeah, there's hundreds. So many people.
Filtering.
Let's do this and this. There we go. So that's what we look like. Uh-oh. Oh. Woo. Yeah.
We're in the.
Is that really
We're
from
in the
Warren?
haunted house.
Is that really from Warren? Like today?
I don't know.
I'm gonna say, are
boy.
you serious, Warren?
I'm putting on my visor, so the sun doesn't. The light doesn't hurt my eyeballs. Did he leave?
I'm not sure.
Bored? He got bored and left?
There's 3 people listed. Hello, 3 people.
Who's there? I can't take the light in my eyes.
Sorry.
My eyes are burning. Look at this visor. It's like crooked. So
Who goes there?
I have some chocolate milk.
I have some Pepsi.
I have an ice cold
It's
chocolate
the taste of a
milk.
new generation.
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's an old generation.
You're an old generation. Boom.
You better watch out. Your head's shining. Do you want me to powder your shinies?
I'm good. It's just the light.
Oh, it didn't work.
Greetings from Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Hey, Melissa. What? I texted you.
Pam
What?
texted you. She's
didn't
very
answer.
worried.
I'm worried. I thought you guys might have blown away or something. Mm, mm, mm. You hear that?
Yeah.
I like that noise.
What's in there?
What isn't in there?
It smells funny. It doesn't
Hi,
smell like a
Nikki. Hi.
chocolate. It doesn't smell like a chocolate drink.
Hi, Warren. If you're there, and
I don't
hi,
think
Melissa,
Warren's.
and
I don't
Taylor,
know. It's hard to say.
and Craig. If Craig's nearby. It's got rum chata, a little bit of vodka, crema de coco,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
some a little bit of milk.
That's it?
Almond milk. You
Wanna
want to
smell
taste it?
No.
Do you want to taste it?
It
Try
smells
it.
like there's some. No. It smells like there's something else in there. Like the
Cream.
lime stuff, which would be really bad.
Lime stuff.
Well, that's why I
What you
thought it was
talking about?
strange. It doesn't smell chocolatey.
I don't smell lime in there. Ice cubes.
Craig is working on the pallets. He's pulling pallets apart for the door?
Yes.
Hello from Marina. Oh, Warren, are you on the road? Are you
Hi,
traveling?
Warren.
Maybe there was a time difference thing with that 5 o'clock.
Oh, maybe. I'm still putting this on my eyeball.
Yes. Craig is working.
It's wet. Definitely very wet.
That's
Can I
wet.
dry it on
No.
you? What do you care?
No. 10-4. Warren's on the road. Making that money. Oh, and that's actually, it says Warren. I didn't even notice
Hi,
that it doesn't say.
Common man.
It doesn't say
New Jersey.
32 and clear. A little chilly. The wind is totally crazy. Yes, it is. I was going to say, if you notice us like shaking or anything, that's just the wind. We're getting rocked pretty good here.
It's like we're on a freight train or a passenger train.
The last wind number I checked around 5 o'clock was like 21 miles an hour, I think.
I see double.
He has a lot of panels to pull apart to keep working on the garage doors. Yep. So Craig's working on garage door pallets.
Craig won't be joining us tonight.
I just noticed that too. Why does it say Warren? Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't say Arizona Homestead Project. Is that right? Arizona Homestead Project.
Warren.
It says Warren.
Warlock.
I didn't even catch that was.
Is his name really Lark?
We're in New Jersey. All right. Oh, Taylor and Melissa are New Jersey.
I wonder what common man's first name is.
Identify yourself.
Where are you? Oh, his name is Warlark. Warren. Yeah. Lark, like Warlock. That's.
Yeah.
Yep.
You will watch this later, if not. Greg.
Orange.
We look forward to that, Greg.
Oh, Tom.
Welcome, Tom. My dad's name is Tom. And he's in Pittsburgh. Not too far. Mm-hmm. So we're 6 minutes in. Hey, guys. Hey, Chad.
Hi, Chad.
Where's Chad at?
I want to say Chad's in Phoenix or Scottsdale, maybe.
Hey, there's Dad and Malin.
Hi, guys. And Malin, Tom and Malin. Dad. I just saw Dad.
Carly M., good evening. All right, people are coming in.
Hi, Carly.
So you want to Edison? Oh, Edison, New Jersey. Have my phone off. Sorry, I told her that. I told her you might. Yeah, Nikki, this is weird that Craig's working and you're here.
Oh, wow. I did remember.
Good job.
Wow. I'm shocked.
So, do you want to talk about what
I have a good memory.
So, a lot of what we'll talk about here, I imagine a lot of what we'll talk about was kind of in a video that we put out today. And actually, did you put yours out yesterday or today? Yesterday.
This morning. Early.
You didn't put it out yesterday?
No.
Okay, so
it turns out yesterday.
It's largely the same video. I didn't even quite realize it, but I took some footage that Pam did.
He doesn't know.
And I didn't realize she had put it out on her channel, but I changed it slightly for our channel, so it's a little different, but they're kind of the same video. Sorry about that. But it showed what we were working on yesterday, and it's kind of some of the same stuff that I've been doing for days and even weeks now, filling tires and checking things. So that was just to show you kind of what we've been up to, but that's some of what we'll talk about here. But what do you want to talk about? What do you have to add?
I'm sleepy.
You do the talking. Oh boy.
I stayed up late and got up early, so I'm sleepy. But
tell them what we've been up
to. We did tires. We've been filling tires.
I see you let Pam help fill tires. I did.
I went out there and took the bull by the horns, and I said, I want to fill some tires.
She said, I'm going to put dirt in these tires.
Tell me what to do. I don't know.
Well, luckily, one of the things that held me up for a while on that last stretch of tires that we just did yesterday, as some people know, when I got to that corner of even though that's not actually the house there, that's more that pad that goes a little farther than the house. I had to accommodate a pipe to go to the septic. So that I didn't fill any tires for a while because I wanted to make sure I left room for that pipe and I had everything kind of laid out correctly. So once I actually got a string line in place and knew what I was doing with that pipe and that I had the right slope and all that business, then I felt comfortable actually filling those tires. So I know it seemed like Pam probably thought I just didn't want to fill tires or something, but I had to wait to know what I was doing. And I actually took the corner and I moved one of the tires out of the way just to create a gap for the pipe to go through there. But then once we did that, then we were ready to fill those tires. And we actually filled them up and packed them pretty quickly. So that was good having two people. That went pretty quick.
I was pretty tired.
And
though.
Pam's probably still feeling it today, so she's pretty beat.
When I was editing the footage, I was like, those shovelful, it looks like I'm getting teaspoons of dirt.
Pam should be out there with a spoon just.
It's good, though. It's still good.
How do you keep your haircut so perfect?
Him or me?
It says high and tight, so I assume it's me.
I cut his hair.
Pam cuts my hair. Now this is a fresh, this is like less than a week old probably. So this is a pretty fresh haircut.
I
It
was
does
just
get a little.
noticing right here that I could see a little hump, and I thought
Well,
that I wasn't.
What you gonna do with all my humps?
He goes over it with a fine tooth, literally with a fine tooth comb.
So yeah, we've gotten higher and tighter over the years here, but one, because it just is easier for it growing back. I tend to grow back with like this chia head kind of thing. So if you don't take the sides
Chia
way
head.
up, it kind of just puffs out right here. And after 3 or 4 weeks, it looks really, really bad. So
I wish that he would.
So she's taking it up real tight.
I think it would be interesting to see if you would just let it grow and see how far out it would grow.
I thought you were going to say if I cut it shorter. If I didn't need a little bit extra left on top and front, I could probably just do it myself with the one or whatever.
That?
But, well, I probably don't. But.
Most people like a little lift on top because their face is short, like mine, like short and pie face. Short and pie.
My face is long.
Short and pie.
Thin.
Horsey face.
So
I love your horsey face.
So
I love horses.
We try to do it about every 4 weeks, I think, but you never know. We don't always get it quite
Hello,
right. But
Terry and Michelle.
Wow.
I got a good memory for names. I got a good memory for like bands and TV stars.
Warren, I'm not even sure if you know Warren, but your name just changed. I'm not sure if you did that on purpose or if it just happened, but
gonna make you drunk.
Oh,
make you love drunk off my humps.
There it is.
Hey, we should do a karaoke.
Good work, Pam. It's a harder cut than most people think. Really? See, I thought it was one of the easier cuts. But so you do a 1 down here, you do a 5 up here, and that's just with guards. But the work is the blending between the two. So
I would say it would be an easier cut on most people. It's a harder cut on Brian because Brian sits there with a mirror like this.
Well, listen. If I didn't take the mirror after she was done for the first time
for an hour,
if I didn't take that mirror, you'd see my hair like there's bumps all over it.
Hi, Bill. Hi,
you
Yvonne.
mean drunker?
Nah, I'm not. Wait.
Pam is drinking, but Pepsi.
This has barely
Bill,
anything in it. It's like chocolate milk with a splash of rum chata and vodka.
All right, so you're not gonna. Do you have any more to say about what we're up to? Anything else?
I'm excited. I'm very excited. Oh, so when we were out there yesterday and I was all happy and I said, I'm so excited because the wheels are in motion. And he's like, oh, no, I don't want you. You started getting negative on me.
Well,
what was it you said?
I was happy you were happy, but here's the problem. That's usually followed by, if we have the slightest little setback, it turns into, I can't take this another day in the trailer. So
usually about once a week, I say, couldn't we just sell it? Could we just sell everything and go get a job?
Is the hard part.
I don't want a job.
Tried it on myself and had to go to the barber shop. Walk of shame. Yeah, Craig cuts his own hair and does that kind of fade all by himself. I can't imagine trying to do that.
Thanks, Warren.
Good call, Warren. Thumbs up out there. I don't know. We've got 14 guests and 2 thumbs up. What's going on out there? So, or maybe it's not.
Don't beg. What'd you say?
So you have nothing else to say? Are you going to update people? What's been happening? What happened today?
What do you want me to say?
What happened today?
Oh, I know. I was afraid. I didn't want to get anybody in trouble.
No, you better whisper.
The humps?
No, not that.
Not the humps.
What did I do today in regards to the house?
Oh my God.
Big step happened today. Well, sort of started happening.
I can remember names, but my short-term memory isn't so good.
So,
wait, don't tell me. Wait, don't tell me. Why can't I remember? You did something. All right. I'm just having a brain gas.
Yeah, the wind is crazy, Bill, right?
Brain gases.
So, big thing today. At least I started the wheels in motion. I called Benson Feed. So Ed is checking. He hasn't gotten back to me yet, but Ed is checking with his straw bale guy. Not that we're ready. I wish we were. I'm running a little behind where I'd like to be right now. But as I said, I wanted to be putting up bales in March, which, it's still a possibility. But I've got some more foundation work to do. But I don't want to wait too long to order the bales because, they can be a little seasonal out here. And I'm not sure exactly when the scary time is. But I know I've walked into Benson Feed in the past for just a a bale of straw for like our compost or whatever, and I've been told we don't have any. So, it happens. So I was a little worried. So a couple of months ago, I kind of warned Ed. I said, in the March timeframe, I'll be looking for 120 bales, and so he said that should be fine. So I called him today, and he said I'll check with my guy and make sure they're available. I hope that's not. Hope that doesn't mean we're in trouble, but
yeah, he didn't call back. Why
he
didn't he
hasn't
call back?
Well, he's Ed. He's on a little more casual timeline.
He's on his own.
Again, not that we need him right this minute. I just don't want to miss out on an opportunity to get him. I don't want to get stuck to where we can't get him. So, and I've prepared a spot, at least part of a spot so far. I'll need to make a little more room, but I've pulled the cars out of the carport, and we're going to store them under the carport. So under the carport, I laid down some old tarps and stuff just to keep some of the straw off the mulch that we've got under the carport, just to keep it a little cleaner. And I put some pallets on top of those, one to keep them from blowing around, and two just to take the bales up off the ground a tiny bit, just in case any water gets in there.
What kind of straw is it?
That's a good question. What kind of straw is it? I don't think I've ever been asked that. Bill, can you answer that? I don't think about what kind of straw it is, to tell you the truth. I'm sorry to say, I don't really know what kind of straw it is. The bales come from wheat straw, so they're available after harvest. Yeah, I know over the years, there have been times where we basically didn't have any straw at all in town. There have been times where they say they have to go to California to get it as opposed to somewhere else, so the prices can go up because of that. But so yeah, again, I just wanted to make sure I got that order in there and we get those things coming, because even if we're not ready to put them down like the day they arrive, I'd hate to wait a week or two or three or whatever too long and call up and have them say, we don't have anything. So, like I said, he hasn't gotten back to me yet. I hope that doesn't mean we're in trouble, but he did think at least a couple of months ago that wouldn't be a problem. So, but anyway, I made that phone call today. We're waiting to hear back from him. So that happened. That's a start. We have, as of today's video that we put out, we have finished packing tires for It's Wheat. There you go. Our first order came from California and was real difficult to work with. I did notice as well, even like I said, with just bales that I get for compost, when I was told that one time when he had to get California straw, basically, it was different. It was thicker, longer, harder. It just didn't, it used to be more kind of fluffy, the stuff I had gotten in the past. It was much easier to work with, easier to kind of break up. But the stuff we got from California was just this long stuff that was just harder. And
I like Chad's idea.
What's that?
I want to do like a karaoke,
big
live.
Group live. Yeah.
That would be,
listen,
Dave and Julie would.
I'd love to. I don't know what the
He's very worried
copyright rules are on all that. I would love to do that.
He's worried about the copyright thing, but I've seen a lot of other channels.
Maybe on Pam's channel someday, if she wants to do that.
All they want to do, all they would do, I think, is demonetize the video.
I don't know if that's the case. I don't know. So
Brian's afraid that
maybe someday
the karaoke police are going to come and arrest.
If Pam wants to do that on her channel, that's fine. I will say, should we tell him that we did that? I mean,
we did what?
So Pam's been watching somebody for a while. This is a little bit of a. I'm on a tangent, but that tends to happen. Pam has followed somebody for a little while, and where are they located?
Maybe the Philippines or Israel.
Yeah. But people join in from all over the UK and all over everywhere, really. And so the time difference is pretty large as well. There's probably
like 5 different people.
So it happens like here. Here it's
Mm-hmm.
fairly early in the morning. And by the way, yeah, they're using the StreamYard that I tried a couple of times ago, and I'm not using it tonight because it was flickering a little bit last week. I still don't know if that was StreamYard or not, but or 2 weeks ago. Anyway, they invite guests, and they can get 5 or 6 people on the screen at once, and they're kind of talking, and somebody will say that they want to sing a song, and like I said, it's like 10 in the morning here when they're doing this. Yeah. So it's not the best time for us, but we got on. Pam had been watching it a few times, and they basically just get on there and they start singing. And then they say, okay, so-and-so wants to sing a song next, go ahead. And basically everybody mutes their microphones, and then one person unmutes, and you just play a karaoke song off of YouTube or whatever, and you just sing. So she watched that a few times, and I was like, that's interesting. And then the one morning we were both here, and we said, well, let's give it a try. So we sang a couple of songs on a YouTube live stream. So it definitely can be done, but I still am unaware of the copyright ramifications. So I'm a little hesitant to do it on our channel.
What did we sing? Oh, we sang Highwaymen.
We did.
I sang very low.
We did we didn't do Shallow. Or did we do Shallow?
No. Oh no.
We're gonna do Shallow next time.
I need to practice for like a week before I do that. Hello everyone from Big Dreams.
Big Dreams Homestead.
Whew, hello. I'm sweating, y'all.
It's warm in here. So even though it's very windy, it's been pretty warm. It'll be a little cooler tomorrow, but we're finally starting to get warm inside the trailer, at least part of the day. It's still pretty chilly in the morning.
Putting off some body heat over here.
Yeah. That's what I do.
You're so hot.
So okay, back to where I was.
Anyway.
We, as of yesterday, as of the video we put out today, we have finished filling the tires for the outer perimeter, which would be our retaining wall to just kind of get us a level spot to build on. So that's done. And a few weeks ago or so, I probably would have told you that as soon as that was done, we were going to backfill. But I'm rethinking that because
Sweet Caroline.
Jump in anytime you want.
Oh, I'm reading.
So instead of backfilling right away, I'm actually going to try and place the inner tires. I hope everybody can kind of visualize what I'm describing. I can't think if I don't think I've really shown it yet.
Well, but if anybody saw the video, you can
see kind of tires in the background. But so we have a U of tires that's bigger than the house, right? To just hold dirt to make us a flat level spot. And then we're going to step in from that U. And I guess I said this in the description of the video and at the beginning, but I don't know if everybody can visualize it. But we'll step inside there and we'll lay out a rectangle of tires. And that first level of tires will be at the same level of the ones we're doing right now. So actually, when it all gets backfilled, that first level of tires will be underground. And then we'll put a second layer on top of that. So we'll have two courses of tires, 2 courses deep, that the bales will sit on top of, the sill plate and the bales will sit on top of. So instead of backfilling now, because if we backfilled now, I would essentially have to dig a trench for that rectangle to put tires in it and then fill them back up and pack them and all that. So we're going to try and put that lower set of tires in first. Now that means, because the ground is sloped inside that U right now, because it hasn't been backfilled yet, we'll have to play with in some places we'll have to chop it down a little bit, and in some places we might have to build it up a tiny bit to get that level of tires all at the same height. But we're going to do that first, and then we're going to backfill. So I'll have CJ come over. And the other thing, and I did mention in the video, I'm not sure if everybody here has had a chance to see
know who CJ
today's
is.
video. CJ is our road maintenance guy, and he's willing to help us out from time to time.
Tractor man.
With a big tractor. So instead of having him try to actually put the dirt in place and spread it around and maybe drive over it or whatever to kind of pack it down a little bit, I'm actually going to ask him just to pile it either right at the front or just outside or just inside. And we'll take that dirt ourselves and basically put it into those tires that we've laid in place and pack it up against those tires and move it around ourselves. That way, that also gives us a chance to tamp it a little bit as we go. Because as you know, if anybody's ever tried to kind of fill a bunch of dirt before, if you fill more than a couple inches at a time, it doesn't matter really how much you try and tamp that down. It doesn't really compact all at once. It'll compact over time, and you'll end up getting kind of a dip in the ground over time as it starts to sink down as water gets in and stuff like that. But if you tamp it what they call a flight at a time, sort of like if you think of rammed earth, like Ray Clemens does, you tamp it down a bit at a time, 3-4 inches at a time, and you get a much better compaction. So I think that's what we're going to try and do. Is we're going to get basically just piles of dirt close to where we want them, and then we'll transfer that dirt ourselves and tamp it as we go to hopefully get a lot better packing.
So once you get those tires all level, how long will it take you to make that footer thing? What's it called?
Well, that is the footer.
No, I mean
The
I
sill
always
plate?
forget sill plate.
Sill plate should be pretty simple. I mean, it's just 2x4s, really. I mean, so.
Can you give me a time frame?
No, because then
no,
you'll.
I just want a guesstimation of how long you think it'll take you to build that little
that sill plate
square.
Can be built in a day. You just have to know. You have to know where to break it. For like a door. Really.
So you just like
those should be the only breaks in the sill
you
plate.
Glue it on top of the tires.
Are you serious?
No, you put nails and then you put screws. And
if any of these people could talk, I would ask them all what we're going to do, and I think they could all answer it because I've said it 50 times how we're going to handle
big
it.
Screws.
So,
hey,
don't do it. So
I know I forget. I ask him so many questions, I can't remember all the answers.
No time frame. Everybody out there, stop me if I've repeated this, but Pam has asked how we're going to attach. Now, it turns out
I know I've asked.
We before. Have sort of. I kind of rework this all the time, and Craig can back me up. I had a talk with Craig recently, who I like to bounce a lot of my ideas off of, or I like to get ideas from, and we walk through stuff. So I had said from the beginning that the idea would be that you would. So basically, what we're trying to do here, right? So we're going to have 2 layers of tires that are going to be our footer, and a sill plate goes on top of that, which is just a piece of wood or pieces of wood. Think of it as a little ladder kind of laid down. If you've seen any of Bill's stuff, he had a sill plate laid on his deck. It'll look just like that, but ours will be laid on top of tires instead of a deck. So the obvious question is, okay, how do those two things, how are they attached, right? How are they connected? So I've known for a while that I wanted to use rebar to do that. It's just there's some details in there that I wasn't real crazy about. The answer is rebar instead of gluing them together. We will not glue them together.
I'll try to remember it.
But one of the things that Craig and I talked about recently was kind of that rebar going down into the ground, especially since it will be going into fresh dirt, right? Even if we compact that dirt quite a bit, it'll be disturbed dirt, right? So in a sense, it'll be kind of loose. So in theory, you could almost grab that piece of rebar if it's not under anything or whatever. If it's just pushed into the ground, you could almost grab it and just pull it out, right? So. Depending on the soil, depending on how compacted it is, whatever.
Warren is on it.
6 of you. Good job, Warren. Get him. So, thanks, Warren. So one of the new things we talked about, and we went through a couple iterations of this, Craig and I said, basically we talked about building like earth anchors, which actually I used on our...
he hates cement, by the way.
Yeah. So I used on our garage in a box. Because we get so much wind, I wanted to hold that thing down, right? So what I did was under each of the feet of the garage in a box, I dug holes and I put cinder blocks in them. And then I took some metal cable, I took some cabling and wrapped it around that cinder block that was a foot or so, a two underground, and then ran it through the little foot on the thing and basically tied that thing to it. So that's called an earth anchor, something underground that's buried, that's heavy, that you're attached to, so it can't go anywhere. So one of the conversations Craig and I had was, okay, let's take that rebar, instead of it just going down in the ground into nothing and it's just straight in the ground and it can pull out. We said, what if we took the end of that and made like a hook on it and buried a cinder block and like ran that hook underneath the middle of the cinder block, right? So that now the rebar is hooked onto a cinder block. And that's all great, except we started talking about, how much digging, how many holes that would be, how long that makes that piece of rebar, how many cinder blocks you would need to do that. And we're like, boy, that sounds like a lot of stuff. I mean, is there an easier way? So then I don't know why it took us a while to come up with this, but then we decided, well, our bottom layer of tires is
concrete,
a packed tire underground, packed tight, which by the way, they weigh in the neighborhood of 300 pounds or so, give or take, depending on how big the tire is. But we said, well, why not just the rebar goes under and you kind of bend the rebar in an L at the bottom, not a hook, but an L, just a 90 degree. And if you put the rebar in place, when you put
Nikki's correct.
What'd she say?
Nothing. Just keep on.
All right. If you put that rebar in place when you set that first tire down, then you're now hooked under that tire. And now once you fill that tire, that rebar, it's not going anywhere. It's not going up. So that's how we're going to pin them kind of under the tires. So that rebar will have a little bend, 6 or 8 inches or whatever. And then it'll go up through 2 layers of tires. And we'll make it so that on the bottom layer, it'll be squeezed between 2 tires where they meet. So it'll come up between 2 tires. So there's nothing in its way. And then above that, because the tires should be kind of staggered like bricks in a house, they're staggered. It'll come up inside one of the tires up above. So it'll be between the two tires at the bottom and inside the tire at the top, and it'll come out. So the next question is, well, how does it grab on? So the idea is you drill a hole in your 2x4 sill plate. You put it over that piece of rebar, and then you just bend that rebar down on top of that sill plate. So now you're pinched at the bottom under a tire, and you're pinched at the top on top of the sill plate. What? What is it?
Well,
I gave you a chance to talk, and you didn't say anything.
Are you reading?
No, I haven't. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I've been explaining something. So what did I miss?
Well, a couple of people said concrete. About why don't you reinforce it with concrete?
I just don't.
Brian
like
really
it.
wants to stay away from concrete
as much as possible, and I realize it's really. I should say it's not so much that I hate concrete just in general, which I'm not a fan. But
it really isn't necessary.
What I really didn't want,
said.
I didn't want a concrete slab is what I didn't want. That's what I'm trying to stay away from. And if possible, I don't even want to pour a concrete footer necessarily. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. It's not that I won't use it here and there when it makes sense, but
we do use.
I didn't want a slab, and I don't even really want a concrete footer if I can avoid it. So
what do we use all those bags of concrete for when we had all those bags?
Oh, so we used concrete in the holes for our carport for the posts for our carport. We definitely used concrete. So Nikki has said the cement isn't necessary if you compact the dirt in the tires. We have done several tires, and they are like 400-pound blocks. Absolutely, they are. Yes, they are very heavy. That's the other reason. It's. I mean, if concrete were the only answer, don't get me wrong, I would use it. But I believe there are other answers that they're cheaper, hopefully, and they have other advantages. So I was just trying to stay away from it for that reason. It's not like I have this vendetta against concrete and I will never use it under any circumstances. I just don't. I'm not a fan, and I think there are other options. So, and I've never wanted really a concrete slab for our house. I'm just not a fan of them. So there's that. So hopefully now, do you understand that we're not gluing the sill plate to the tires?
Yeah, I knew. So that was a joke.
That's hopefully how we end up with really a connection from tire to sill plate. And then once you get past the rebar being bent over the sill plate on top, and now the sill plate is pinched down. Now from that point, again, anybody who's familiar with Bill or any other straw bale build that you've seen, from that sill plate on, we're the same at that point, right? And so that's the idea, at least. So
when you're explaining, so when
are the trusses going up?
So
did she text you?
I just wanted to tell him that whenever you're like explaining something like that, I zone out.
Oh, I know.
Like I don't. Why do I have such a hard time?
You're probably not the only one, but I can't help it, and I'm sorry if I ramble, but that's how I talk. So, but yes, Pam definitely.
I try to stay
zones out.
Focused, but then like something happens. I just go off. My brain goes off.
I can't help it. Hopefully, people can follow along without dropping out when I talk. But so hopefully that explained it.
It was really windy today, so it was hard to go outside.
Super windy today. Anybody who's in our area, Bill, Melissa and Taylor, Bill and Yvonne. Yeah, it's crazy windy here. When's the housewarming? From New Jersey? You're coming out? So again, I'll say it again, and I'll admit.
Oh, I'm left brain for sure.
I'm running a little behind, but I still am hopeful that we can get dried in before the monsoon.
Sorry, I'm talking.
All bets are off after that for the things that have to happen inside, of which I realize that will take some time, but hopefully we can still get dried in before monsoon. That's the goal. So, and I still think I don't think that's unreasonable. But I'm scared.
I think that we should.
Hopefully we'll make it.
Should when the house is built, we'll have a live. We'll give everybody our address and say everybody who wants to who's on this live.
I think I've said it before, but in case everybody hasn't caught it before, the housewarming, it'll happen in stages, of course, which I'm sure is not all that uncommon for people who are kind of doing this stuff themselves. To where hopefully we'll get it to the point where we can kind of. Let's say we can sleep in there and we'll have comfortable temperatures and things. And
it won't be rocked when it's windy.
In the beginning, we'll probably be coming back here to shower and here to cook until we make some additional progress inside the house. But step one is to get your 4 walls up, get a roof on it so that you're protected. So I'm still hopeful and shooting for before the monsoons come.
I hope we have trusses up by May also.
My trusses should be going up the end of May. Awesome, Warren. Let us know.
We still have that air conditioner if you want to come.
Oh yeah,
there's
no hurry, but hopefully he'll want to take that off our hands.
The mice are playing on it.
So Warren's trying to beat the monsoons.
Yeah.
Also, it'd be nice to get that roof on and get a gutter on there, and I
collect some water.
Collect some water, sure.
Housewarming party.
I'm sure they will accept gift cards and cash.
No.
Sure. What else is new? So that hopefully, I think I've described this before, but again, we rework it all the time. So that's my latest concept of how all this stuff's gonna.
I got one.
Go together.
I painted a little bit on Nikki's rock.
Yeah.
We got the rock in here. We got a big rock.
Pam is painting a boulder.
A boulder
for Craig and Nikki as an address marker for their house. It's easily 100 pounds. It might be more.
So I wanted to ask Nikki if I did a video on it, do you want your address blurred out in the video so you don't have people coming to your house?
We'll show
it's
the boulder, address and all. And if you can find this address, you can have this rock for free. That'll be the
go get the rock.
That'll be the unveiling of their rock. Thanks, Nikki.
Oh, thank you, Nikki. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you can have the AC, Warren. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's just one piece of it.
So yeah, that's the latest. And
they probably couldn't find it.
So as another, I don't want to talk about this too much, but it's kind of off our land, but it's going to affect us. We have a new neighbor, as some people know. Bill knows that.
What if he watches? What if he watches it? We're not going to say anything bad, are we?
No, but
he's really nice.
So
he's very nice.
People have heard us. Anyone who's watched, especially, we haven't talked about it maybe recently, but we have a lot of erosion issues around here, right, in various places, in various forms. One is a pretty big ravine, not the wash, but there's a ravine that runs up at one edge of our property. And our new neighbor, whose land does butt right up to ours, ravines run all over the property. And he's got a big bulldozer, and he's pushing dirt around into those ravines. Now, we're going to find out whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. There's a little concern that filling up a ravine with fresh dirt and disturbing the dirt at the edges of that ravine where it's at now could potentially make for a big mudslide when a big storm comes. So, I mean, fingers crossed. I don't know.
Well, he did say that whatever happens, he's going to take big boulders and put down there.
But yeah, he's prepared to do some more. He's prepared to clean up if things don't work out. But yeah, we're going to find out this monsoon whether it's a good idea to pile a bunch of dirt in a big ravine and see if it holds. I don't know. It might mudslide out of there, but that's something that's happening here. I'm not sure yet whether it's good or bad, to tell you the truth. So we'll find out.
I think that we would have to deal with it eventually, one way or another. So
I'm not going to complain because, again, we hadn't really addressed it.
We hadn't done anything.
So I just hope it doesn't make it worse.
Actually, we had done,
but it would be hard to make it worse because it was pretty nasty. But I mean, if that thing does turn into a big mudslide, that could be bad for us, but we'll see how it goes.
Maybe we'll get some light rain, so we'll see what happens from just light rains.
Neighbors with bulldozers are awesome. Yeah. That's like having a friend with a boat, right?
Derek, handyman, is just too busy with his own stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't want to bother him. And this guy offers.
So yeah, our neighbors are busy.
Everybody's busy.
We've got the pad laid out. So the next things we'll be doing are leveling the actual footer tires for the house. So that'll be coming soon. Again, it's not all that hard of a job. It's just I had to think for a while about how that pipe was going to work into the whole mix and everything, and we went back and forth on when to backfill and everything. So
do you know what to do with the pipe once you put it in?
Well, actually, we're just going to cap it, just like you would. Like, say you drove through a neighborhood where they were building a bunch of new houses. Basically, you would see a concrete slab, and there'd be pipes coming up through it. They're just stubbed. So really, all we're doing is putting a stub in place, and we'll just cap it.
Pipe?
Yeah, for starters, yeah.
All right.
Other pipes will connect to it, but but yeah, you just need to get in with one. So we just have to penetrate those 2 layers of tires as
Hi,
we come in.
David.
So David Edward
South
Tilson,
Korea.
South Korea.
That's
I
right.
remember that.
Thank you for coming
Thanks.
by.
There will
What's that
be
say? Going around.
any
or on
concrete
top?
going around or on top of the footer tires. I don't think we're planning on it, to tell you the truth.
Worked
I
on the
don't think we're
bottom
planning
road.
on it.
Are we working?
On top of the footer tires, so if you imagine, so when the tire stops, that top tire stops, and you put a sill plate on top of it, a 2x4, so you'll have, if you think of that sill plate as a ladder, essentially, right? Because it needs an inner and an outer for the bales to sit on, and it'll have cross members along the way too. So think of it as a ladder kind of laying down.
I was watering.
The thickness of that 2x4 will be above the tire, so that's a gap in there. So generally you would fill that with either some kind of gravel. Basically what you want there is a capillary break. You don't want the water to travel up. So you can use gravel, you can use some sort of insulation to stop colder air from kind of working its way through there, because you've got these bale walls, which are going to be not great insulation. But if you leave this little space for air to kind of travel through, that's not that great. So maybe either gravel or a combination of gravel and insulation in that little cavity. But other than that, I don't think there's a plan for any concrete around there.
Somebody said something about the road. Have you worked on the bottom road anymore? The bottom road.
Have you worked on the bottom road?
The one in the wash, maybe?
So
we have 2 kids.
Clarify what you're talking about there, but we work from time to time in the wash just to kind of smooth things a little bit, because it can get a little bumpy in there. But actually, since that last big storm where we ended up with a cliff, coming out of our place, and CJ came over and built us a dirt ramp, even though we all know that dirt ramp is temporary until a decent storm comes. It hasn't come yet, so that has done okay for us. A little bit that I've done since then is I have used a little bit of mulch, because driving up and down that dirt ramp, basically, grind it into a sort of a powder, and it gets real dirty, real dusty, and you start to sink into it.
What was that?
The wind.
Oh.
So I did put some mulch down in a few places just to kind of keep the dust down and keep us from sinking in so much. So I do maintenance a little bit on that, if that's what you're talking about with the lower road or the bottom road. I do a little maintenance in there from time to time, but we've been lucky since that last big storm. It's actually held up pretty well.
Bye, guys.
Oh boy, are you asking Brian if he knows how to lay pipe? Says Bill.
Yeah, you're just now reading all this.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I got a whole side conversation about you laying pipe.
Great.
He can. He knows how to lay pipe.
Let's see. So,
are we gonna get banned from
time to
YouTube
go eat dinner?
Say that?
Thanks, Big Dreams Homestead.
Oops. Did I just stab you?
Great answer about the capillary break. Yeah, definitely. Whatever you put your bales on top of, you want to make sure that you're not right on top of something. Even let's say that was a concrete footer, or let's say I had filled those tires with concrete or whatever, right? Well, concrete does kind of wick water. So whatever you're putting, if you're building with bales, whatever you're putting your bales on top of, you want a capillary break there so that water doesn't travel right up into those bales. So we will, even though our tires will be filled with dirt, those could get wet, that water could travel. So in that little cavity, we'll have either gravel or insulation or a combination of the two.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So at what point do you put wires in for electrical?
That's a good question. I wish I had a better answer. I'm freaked out that I don't have a good answer to that. That's one of, I think, the benefits of the way Bill and Yvonne have approached this with the deck, is I think they can leave a lot of that to after the fact. Bill, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's one of the benefits of your setup there. I'm a little worried about, so we've dealt, at least I think we're dealing with the wastewater pipe situation right now, so that we don't have to try to, after the fact, work a wastewater pipe in there. I'm wondering, and maybe someone can help me out here, I am tempted to put another entrance, maybe call it a chase might be the right word, a tube or a pipe or something to allow wires to travel inside the house, because I'm afraid if I do all this work and I set up all this, foundation work and everything, and I don't allow, then I'll have to try after the fact to try and dig something and fish something. And I'm wondering if maybe I shouldn't be, in much the same way that I'm doing something for the wastewater now, I'm wondering if I shouldn't be doing something in the vicinity of where I think the electrical is going to come in. And I'm a little scared, to tell you the truth, that I haven't done that yet.
Would my brother be able to help with that? My
He doesn't build houses. I mean, he does that kind of after the fact, but I think. But so
PVC conduit.
And like I said, Craig's the guy I bring a lot of this stuff to a lot of times, because he watches a lot of Earthship stuff.
Also Steve.
But yeah, I'm wondering,
Steve,
am I making a mistake by doing all this foundation work without having a place for the electrical wires to come in? Is that bad? Am I doing something wrong? So
what are you reading now?
I would overdo conduit under the flooring when you could pull wires around the house later if needed. Yeah, I really think that I probably should be leaving an entry point for that, for the electrical wires to get in. At least one entry, but you don't have to run everything in the world. It's kind of like the sewer pipe thing. You basically just need that one spot, and then you can branch out once you're inside, but you need one way to get in. It's all going to come in one spot. But yeah, and these are the things that keep me up at night. I'm afraid that maybe I shouldn't be going all this way with the foundation work without putting a pipe in place to be able to pull wires through. So yell at me if you think I should have a pipe in place, because I think maybe I should. That's a good question. It's a valid question. And I think I haven't seen Bill respond yet, but I think one of the beauties of Bill's setup is that he can do a lot of things after the fact because he has access from underneath. So that is one of the big, but we will not have that. So
at your major
use PVC at your major spots, and then you should be good. I tend to agree. I think I can basically the same way I'm bringing in a sewage pipe, and then I'll just cap it off, and we'll access it after the fact. I think I need to bring a pipe in for electrical, and as long as I've got that one entry point, I don't really have to know all the details. I just have to know that I've got that connection to the outside. Right? Because once you do all the foundation work, then it's going to be harder to make that connection afterwards. So pipe in place. I think that's true. I think we have to do that. And that has bothered me for a while.
Ground on the exterior and penetrate the exterior wall at a normal height of a panel.
Oh, really?
You don't want to bury your main under the foundation.
I actually did not know that. So if it runs up the wall, then maybe I just have to go through the bales themselves. Maybe I could, and I should, again, I'll defer to Bill if I don't know if he's gotten that far, but should I maybe, instead of what I was thinking is I would have some kind of pipe that comes in underground that would be my entry point for all those wires. Maybe as I'm building up the bales, I should put something in place, and maybe that is just a PVC pipe or something.
Sleeve?
Built into the bales, like a sleeve that allows me access, and maybe it could be at the height of a, anyway, I did not know that, and I'm not a foundation expert, so that's not surprising that I didn't know that. But yeah, I would have thought, in much the same way I'm worrying about water, I thought I had to kind of get that access point for wiring as well, and I would have done it under the foundation. I'm
zoning out again.
Yikes, we're losing her.
I don't know why. I just, whenever Brian talks, it's very hard for me to stay focused.
Well, listen, I don't want to talk the whole time, but if I ask you what you want to do, you say you want to go take a nap. So what am I supposed to do?
Well,
feel free.
This is I didn't sleep good last night. So, oh no, I slept good, but I just stayed awake till. What am I missing? What
else? So the other thing I'm fighting here, I realize you guys are asking very valid questions about the electrical and all that stuff.
No, I asked that.
But if you know me, my biggest problem is I think 30 steps down the line, right? And the problem with that is I get so paralyzed by all the potential problems that are down the road that I don't move at all. So I'm trying, even though it's scary, I'm trying to kind of take a couple of steps and look at like 1-2 steps here and say, okay, I'm just going to bite this off and do this even though I know in the back of my head that there are some things I haven't addressed yet, and they might bite me, right? But I have to force myself to push all those things away because I won't make any progress if I don't. So I hope everybody understands that when you ask me a question and it's something in the future and I say, hey, I haven't thought about that yet, and you might think he's crazy, he needs to think about that. But
he does better.
It's the thing that has killed me in the past because I can't push any of those thoughts away. So it totally paralyzes me. So they're all valid questions, but I'm trying to force myself to just bite off one piece at a time, even if it means that I might get myself in trouble. If I don't force myself to do it, I'm gonna just sit here forever and never make a move. as Bill knows, believe me, I admire the people out there that really just dive into stuff, but I've never been that guy. But I have to change because you can only think about this stuff for so long before you have to make a move. So that's what's been killing me, and I'm trying to do it. It's hard for me. So
so penetrate the wall with aluminum.
Don't feel bad. Your method of thinking is very methodical and well thought out. I mean, listen, I love the way I think because the good news is when I do dive into a project, I've usually thought it through so well that it goes pretty well, right? I don't, I've been very happy with the way the shed went and the way the carport went and everything. But at the same time, it takes me so long to get there. So it's a battle I fight all the time. But I would penetrate the wall with aluminum rigid conduit. Don't forget, you'll also be bringing a ground wire out. You don't have to make it a work of modern art like your neighbor Derek and his conduit vending. Yeah, the world's greatest electrical room.
I think ours will be much more simple, right?
I wasn't going to say it, Bill.
I'm the one that usually gets in trouble for having my mind in the gutter.
I just, for everybody that's on here, again, I hate to beat it to death, but if you knew me, you'd know that I have to try and simplify this because it's the thing that kills me all the time. So I will continue to, as this project goes, I'll try and get better at diving into each little step without necessarily knowing, even though that's scary, without necessarily knowing what's going to happen after that. I do still try to keep stuff in mind, but if I kill myself by trying to.
We're kind of alike my problem is I start things and don't finish them. Pizza oven. But in my defense, it has been very windy outside, and it's on my list.
We've had some windy days for sure. So
are we gonna wrap up?
I think that might be it. I mean, if anybody had a question that we didn't get to, throw it out there again if you want. Anybody wants to know anything, let me know. But that might cover kind of what we've been up to. Hopefully next time we talk, we'll know about the bales. Hopefully by the next time we talk, we'll have done some work on the
yes, dirt pounding.
Yep. We'll have been working on the interior. That interior kind of footer is going to take a little time because, like I said, we're going to have to work those tires into the right position. And then the backfilling,
I'm gonna help with filling those other tires, but he has to get them level.
Nikki says keep letting Pam help. I let her help. That believe me, that job of filling those tires. Now they were already half done, but we cranked through those tires pretty quickly, the two of us. So that was good.
I'm gonna guess trusses in May.
Well, I mean, if we want to be dried in, it's got to be before
April.
Yeah, so
the end of April would be nice.
We'll see. The good news is now I haven't dealt with trusses, but I have done two roofs. I did the one on the shed, which had my own rafters, and it did have sheathing on it and an underlayment layer and all that stuff, right? And I did the metal roof, and then I did the carport, which is my own rafters, purlins, no sheathing, and a metal roof. So I feel fairly comfortable with a roof. I haven't done trusses yet. But, as far as the metal roofing and all that stuff, I feel fairly comfortable with that stuff. So I'm not too worried about doing it. I know kind of how long it will take. Those two roofs really both went really quickly.
Are we having AC? Chad wants to know. Are we gonna have an AC?
Are we gonna have air
Probably
conditioning?
a mini split, like we do in here.
The hope is not to need it at all. Now that might be optimistic,
but we're gonna see. If we need it, we'll get a mini split.
Hopefully, probably. Worst case scenario. Hopefully, the fallback position is, because of what we've learned in here. The mini split in here is great. It's just that because it's trying to condition a metal box, it's a hard job. So hopefully our fallback position in the house, if it's required, and I hope it's not required, but if it is, I won't feel too bad about putting a mini split into the house. It's small enough. I'm comfortable with a mini split. So if we have to do it, we'll do it. And the energy draw isn't all that bad. And once we condition that space, because of all the insulation, we shouldn't have the same problem we have in here that's just hard to keep up, right? So our fallback position is a mini split if we have to, but I'm hoping not to have to.
Okay. So Nikki says, are you reconsidering trusses? And Warren asked how long before we move in.
Trusses, I think are kind of a necessity for us, right? Because I at least I don't know of a way to span the distance we're going to span, which would be about 24 feet from front to back. I don't know of a way to span that without really having some supports in the middle. So it's either trusses, as opposed to just a rafter, a board, right, that like I did in a shed, or basically like I did in the carport. I had, intermediate posts that those rafters could sit on. And if I didn't have those intermediate posts, I wouldn't have been able to span that distance. So the problem is, unless you want to have beams in the middle of your living room, I think trusses are a necessity, unless I'm missing something. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think trusses are a necessity for us.
David asks, does Brian have any hobbies? Brian used to wakeboard.
I used to do a lot of fun stuff.
Flips and everything, but
it used to be wakeboarding for a long time.
Other than he used to do Sudoku all the time. What other hobbies do you have? Reading? Wait.
I don't read. I read.
He likes to play solitaire on his phone.
I like to play. We like to play cards and stuff like that when we hang out with friends and stuff like that. But
as far as a hobby, he likes building stuff. But
yeah.
Did I miss any other questions?
I saw one. David, we get to see Pam. Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't read far enough. Pam and her art. My hobby. I hate to say it because I do too much of it. It's television.
Oh,
yeah, that's both of our. We love to watch movies and TV.
Both of us like to watch
TV.
And
I don't mind so much doing it at night, of course, but during the day when you sit down to have lunch and you turn something on and then you stay at lunch a little too long, we both watch too much TV, but we love TV.
Going to Blackout Town. That's Brian's. No.
Who said that?
No, Nikki said drinking. No.
Yeah, well, we like to have an occasional drink.
I don't like it when you go to Blackout.
Northwest to Southwest says, how will you insulate the roof? That's another really good question. We were talking to Craig and Nikki about it this weekend because the last time we were together. There are still options on the table there. That's a good question. And I'll admit, I don't have an answer. I don't know. I don't know yet. So we'll see.
I want to see like how much the spray foam is like Derek had in.
We'll see.
In there.
I don't know yet. Karaoke champions.
It's time to wrap it up. So we're gonna end it with a song.
So sing a song. If you don't mind, on your channel in the future. So we'll obviously, anybody who isn't connected to Pam's channel will kind of connect through this one, but I wouldn't mind doing a karaoke thing over on your channel. Again, I'm afraid that we're going to get the cops coming after us on this channel. I don't know.
I've been doing my lives on Sunday on.
But maybe we'll set that up over on Pam's channel sometime.
He's just in with a song.
We do love karaoke. That's one of our hobbies. I can't sing a song right now. We can't sing a song now.
Wait, I know one.
Ooh, Warren's going to send us a number for spray foam.
Crazy cool medallions.
Oh, the Barry Gibb Talk Show. Good one.
On the Barry Gibb Talk Show.
We were just watching a Saturday Night Live thing recently.
What's that say? Oh, a number. Oh, cool.
So,
spray foam.
Well, you got to leave them wanting more. So you'll have to come back for a song sometime.
I like the Bee Gees.
We'll do a karaoke jam sometime on Pam's channel, I think. I think that's going to do it. we're pushing an hour here. Thanks everybody for coming by again. As always, I was going to talk tonight about something else, that just the anxiety I feel with YouTube and having to make content. I apologize as always that I don't make more content and I'm not more regular about it, but
he's trying, but it's hard because he's working.
I appreciate everybody watching everything and commenting. I read them all. We respond to them all. I hope everybody keeps watching. I appreciate it.
We do.
So we'll keep trying to put more stuff out there, and hopefully as we get more projects going, we'll get more of them out there. But that's another reason maybe that everybody should kind of pay attention to Pam's channel as well, because she's a little better at putting out quicker, kind of up to the minute stuff out there. So if you're afraid that we haven't done anything in a while, if you check out Pam, you might see some more of what we've been doing. So she's a little quicker at it.
Yeah.
Send me the number 2, please, says Bill. I'm curious to see what Bill's going to do for his installation.
Yeah, and we'll be going back to watch some of Bill's from when he started.
Oh yeah,
and all that. So
great
you
kitchen.
Guys.
Lunchtime in Korea. Lunchtime. That's
good.
That's
lunchtime.
A nice word. Hills are filled with gabions. Gabions. Nice. Cheers and thanks for your positives. Thanks for everybody for coming out. I think that's going to do it.
All right, we'll see y'all.
All right, everybody.
Next time.
Thanks for stopping in. We're going to call it.
Stay classy.
Stay classy. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.